Experience like being halfway around the world and winning a gold medal?
It was a little overwhelming, to be honest with you. Just, it all happened so fast, I feel like. And, I was going from one place to another within a span of a couple weeks and having to get back and adjust to the time zone and then go back over and readjust. And so it's been a lot, but it's been an amazing experience.
What's the feeling when the basket goes, they try that three, it rattles out? What's that feeling when the horn sounds and you know you've done it?
It's just a little bit of exhaustion, just because, at that point for me it was all over. I had a couple more opportunities to go overseas again, and I was like, you know what, I can't. I've got to get myself right before the season. And so there was that point that it was like, okay, I can take a deep breath, and it's all been worth it. For a second we thought that shot was in because I was right behind the rim and it was going straight. I was like, no way. But we lucked out, and I'm just glad that we got it done.
Is there any, swagger's the wrong word, rivalry's even the wrong word, but when you beat the U23 team, a lot of us that maybe didn't follow closely looked at the bracket and went, well, this is interesting because we're so used to every country just has one team representing. But what was playing in that game like, and was there some little sisters, big sisters kind of thing going on with that game?
Yeah, we traveled with some of them. We all kind of came from different areas, and actually the roster there was a lot different than the one that qualified. So there was a little bit of moving pieces there, and so we were all really getting to know each other, and we actually scrimmaged against them a couple days prior when we got in. So we kind of had a feel for them already. Obviously we had all played together before. They were all new, so that's also really tough. You're getting thrown into a final game against us who have been playing together. So it was fun though. I think it was a pretty chill game. Everyone was rooting for USA obviously, and the crowd was into it. It was fun. I think it was a pretty free game, it felt like.
Can you explain to us like what 3-on-3 does for you when you bring it to the Gophers or when you bring it to your season?
Well, I think the conditioning part is a big aspect. You have to be in really good shape, and it's a different kind of shape too. Also just defensively having a guard, you're on an island pretty much, so that can be transferred. And then just the pace of it is just a lot faster, and having to get shots off quick. And Coach P is all about every possession we need to get a shot, and that's kind of how it is for 3-on-3 too. Because if you don't, it could come down to that. It's really important, especially with the 10-minute game. And
I mean, your game, obviously you're a really good scorer, but did that force you to have to improve even more defensively in that instance?
Yeah, because without stops, it's almost impossible. You have to get stops and you have to score. So that can be translated to the 5-on-5 game too.
What does an experience like that do for your confidence as it translates to playing for this program, knowing that you've won at the highest level with USA across your chest? I mean, what does that do for your confidence?
Well, that's the biggest part, is just that USA across the chest. It's just a different feeling, and especially, winning with that across your chest and knowing that, I was representing not just the university but also the whole country, and that was a pretty cool feeling, and I think that alone definitely does boost confidence in itself.
What was it like to have your teammates and your coaches up watching at 4 a.m.?
That was really cool. I was not expecting that. I didn't know they were doing that. So that really meant a lot to me, and actually watching the video after it kind of brought tears in my eyes, because it's just a really cool thing, and for them to all get up early. Obviously we've got school and workouts and stuff, and so I know that's tough, and it means a lot more than you think. So.
How would you describe just like all those different countries you've been to, what you've learned from just traveling all over the world?
Yeah, it's just each place has such a different culture, and so it's just really cool to be able to experience that. I wouldn't have these opportunities without playing basketball and without playing at the level that I do. So it honestly makes it all worth it, and it's just cool to be able to travel and also play the sport that I love doing.
Recap for us where you went. I know Mongolia.
Yeah, so I was in China first, qualified for Mongolia, and then we also went to Croatia and Greece with the team, and went to a bunch of different cities in Croatia, and then just Athens in Greece. But just being able to experience different things in those different places. With the Gopher team, we were able to travel more and just see different things there. But with USA, it's almost more like a business trip, so you're there to win, and they make that pretty clear. But on our own time, we were able to go and see some pretty cool things also.
So you guys played games, with the Gophers, with a new team, new coach. what was that experience like? And then, some of the new players, how
Yeah.
did you guys kind of mix together?
It was fun. I mean, anytime you can just get together and play an actual game, practice and scrimmaging is all fun, but once you're on the floor, against a real opponent with refs and everything and, a game plan and things like that, it makes it all a lot realer. And I think it was fun. It was a good experience for us. We could bring back a lot of things to work on, and I know Coach has been applying those to practice, and so I'll get together with her when she gets back from recruiting, and we'll kind of go through that and watch some film and see what else we have to improve on.
Could you get a sense of how she is in the game, or did she kind of back
She's
off?
fiery.
Okay,
No, she is
yeah.
fiery. She's really into it. And I think that was fun for us to see, even in a game like that where it really didn't matter, it was game time for her. And so I think that also translates to us and how we played.
Mara, a busy offseason. What area of your game do you feel like you've grown most this offseason?
I think just the physicality part, especially playing overseas, and those girls, they're hacking, they're grabbing, they're scratching, they're doing everything they can to beat us. So I think understanding that and feeling what those punches are like, and then bringing it back to this season and playing against the Big Ten is a different type of animal. So I think that'll also really help.
What was Coach's feedback when you got back, just about how you played for USA and how that translates to how that can help with this team?
Yeah, I think she just, the whole leadership part, just the confidence part, feeling confident in myself so I can be able to, relay that over to teammates. Them knowing that I'm confident in the team and myself is going to really help the rest of the team too, to see that.
You guys, a core of this team, you're only sophomores, but you've been through the thick of it. Go back to like the Big Ten season, your first Big Ten game. We know how it went. Like, it was just crazy overtime, and you won. And then there were some struggles after that. What do you learn from that experience to bring to this season?
Yeah, I think now just understanding the Big Ten a little bit more, understanding the pace, the physicality, things like that. The fact that you're scouted more than you ever have been. I think that was a big thing for me, is that they always knew what I was going to do. So I think this year, understanding like the counters to that, and just going into the game and kind of knowing what to expect. I think last year was tough because it was really the unexpected for us, especially being a younger team. So I think that part will really help, and then we'll be able to help out teammates that haven't experienced that also.
When was 3-on-3 first on your radar? Like a year ago, could you have imagined you'd be doing this?
No, and I really didn't know a whole lot about it. I've known that Paige has played it, and Haley and Caitlin, and they've all experienced it, but I really didn't know a whole lot about it. So when they contacted me after the season that I could go to a trial, I was like, okay, I showed up. I didn't even know that the ball was different or anything. And I kind of just went out there and played, and I caught on pretty quick. The girls were really helpful, and a lot of them were a lot older than me too. So I was able to adjust, and from there, I guess, it was just something that I found kind of easy, and I was able to adjust to.
That game is more different than people that don't know basketball as well as you. It's dribbling, shooting, and passing, but it's a different game, right?
It is, and there's a lot of different game plans, and you see, with other teams, it's like their way to beat us is by twos, because it goes ones and twos, and obviously twos are double ones, so that's really important, and teams know they can't really bury it inside on us because we're stronger and we're bigger. So they, if you saw that last China game, they're just chucking up twos and then they'll run after it. So it's a lot different, and teams that can't beat you in 5-on-5, they can beat you in 3-on-3. So it's just a whole different scheme.
Did you get a chance to soak it all in and take a breath when you got back, or was it pretty much right back into workouts here?
I think that for right now, I'm kind of just trying to adjust back to the time zone and get healthy and get sleep and things like that. Coach B has been really good about giving me a break for a little bit, just so I can get back to 100%, so I can be 100% for the team. But I think once I got back, just being able to talk to family and friends and reflect on the whole experience has been pretty good.
If you'll indulge the travel nerd in me, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia is not a place that's on a lot of people's list to travel. Did you get a chance to get out? I mean, it's just, Croatia and China and Greece even seem, those are attainable travel destinations. Mongolia is not. Tell those of us that will never get to go what it was like.
Yeah, it was a city feel, a lot going on. There was, cars and traffic, and I feel like we had the facility was maybe a 20-minute walk, and it took 45 minutes to drive there with everyone. So it was busy. So I feel like I was used to that aspect of it, but I mean, just the culture, the food, the weather was cold and rainy. So it kind of gave me a taste of home with the weather a little bit, but which was kind of nice to get away from that heat. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. You know, like you said, I don't know if I would have gone there without the basketball part of it. So that was kind of cool to be able to experience that.
Was there like a dinner or like a food that stuck out as like, oh, I've never tried that before, but that was pretty good?
I think it's funny, you know, before I went, everyone's like, you have to have the beef, the Mongolian beef. And so I had that, I think. There was a lot of different foods that we did try, and, you know, you're kind of a little skeptical because you don't know, you know, when you're playing too, it's like you got to be careful. But I think it was fun. There was actually like an Irish pub in the hotel, so we had a little American food there too. But yeah, I think just trying new foods and hoping for the best with how you react to it.
Can we slot you in for the 23 team, US 20?
What's that?
Can we slot you in for the
Oh.
second team next year?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I really hope for in the future that I can continue with this
Yeah.
USA basketball thing.
Well, in all seriousness, does that give you a vision of what it might be like down the road if your name's called for Team USA in the Olympics?
Well, that's my overall goal. Is I've always wanted to play in the Olympics, and that's obviously next year. We'll see with that. I know there's a lot of older players, and you know they often pull people from the league and stuff like that too. So we'll see. But I think overall that's my goal for the future. No matter if it's 3-on-3, 5-on-5, but I think playing in the Olympics would be a pretty surreal moment.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Guys.
Thank you.